King Medic, turn me up.
Conservative point of view to black issues. His mission, to provide a forum for honest discussions about social issues without the liberal lapdogs shutting down the discussion. Broadcasting from the American Truth Project Studios in beautiful Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. This is Conservative Nation with your host, Jermain Botsio.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Conservative Nation with me, your gracious host, Jermain Botsio. And on today's show, you guys know what the deal is. I got the one, the only mind of Jamal on Double Barrel J's Wednesdays, but it is Thursday today. We couldn't stream yesterday. How are you doing, brother?
Well, it's CP time, colored people time. Sometimes we're a day late, hour late, 10 minutes late. But how's everybody doing? Everybody, how are you guys doing tonight? It is time, just because it's Thursday, a different day, we gonna bring the same fire, and we ready to get it started.
You know
hit
it.
That like, hit that share. Have you hit that like button? Are you sitting here watching us and you didn't hit that like button? You're doing us like a red-headed stepchild.
You know it. You know it. You are treating us like a red-headed stepchild. Make sure you guys do your due diligence. Hit that like button. Make sure you do share. We're going to need your help. We're going to need your help. You see what is going on right now, right? Even though we have a lot of patriots in office, a lot of patriots that are in the private sector, we are still getting bombarded by some evil folks. Yeah, certainly. If I was just up here, ladies and gentlemen, it's very easy. If I was just up here, giving you guys just the news and retorting what the news is, like a lot of folks out there. And speaking like the establishment, I'd be everywhere. I would. But because, ladies and gentlemen, I call it like I see it, I'm not going to play around, right? Yeah, that makes the show dangerous, right? It's like, okay, what angle is he coming from? Why is he saying this? We don't like him saying stuff like this, right? I want folks to think critically. That's why the show is designed the way it is. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. It's designed like that, ladies and gentlemen. Look at Satan's little fly buzzing around. So we need your help. Please, oh, please, oh, please. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. All right. We got an awesome show lined up for you. And let me tell you something. You're going to definitely want to see it tonight. All right. You're going to definitely want to see it. Jamal, brother, I'm ready to flame. I'm ready to fire. How about yourself, brother?
Let's start getting them while they're mad. Let's roast them.
Before we begin, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Kelbella823. Says challenge, support the double James. Shout out to Kelbella823. I also want to go ahead and give a special shout out to Yvette Roman. She donated, and also, she sent in a book. So I want to make sure that she gets her just due respect. All right, so thank you. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get rocking. First one up, I want to go ahead and speak to you about a mama that is doing a lot of stuff and causing a lot of drama. Yeah, the mama's causing a lot of drama right now. And what she put on TikTok has gone viral. A lot of people are calling her a dirt bag. I kid you not, they are. So I want to go ahead and run this. When it come back, I want to get you guys' take on it, all right? So make sure you guys do your due diligence. Help a brother out. Hit that like button. Make sure you share. Here we go. They calling her a dirtbag mom. We shall see.
It really be your own people, dude. My 16-year-old just found out that his dad isn't his real dad anymore because of my bitter-ass sister. She claims it's for his own good, but in what way is that for his own good? When I found out I was pregnant with my son, I made the logical choice to pick the father that made the most money. His real dad was working at McDonald's for like $8.25 an hour. I don't want that as a man. And I got pregnant, and so I picked the richer dad. And although the richer dad didn't take care of him and hasn't been around, he does pay child support, and he pays a lot, and it pays for a majority of my rent. Well, my sister never liked that, and I finally let her have my son thinking I could trust him. And she tells my son and confides in him that his dad isn't his real dad. And now he went and found his real dad behind my back with my sister, and they are all trying to fight and get my son taken away from me. My son doesn't want to live in my house. We haven't talked in 3 days. I think it's the most miserable thing a person can ever do is ruin some shit like that. I picked the right choice. Now who's going to pay my bills now? Because now they also told that the guy that's been on child support all these years, and he's trying to come after me and sue me for all the money he's been paying. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, I didn't do anything wrong here.
Now, let me just say, I have no idea if this is real or not. People say anything online.
So, I want to stop it right here. So, this video is out. It's out. Everybody and their mama has put this out. Now, I don't know if this sucker is real or not. But let me tell you something. It has a lot of folks talking and a lot of people saying, hey, I've been put in this type of situation. Brother, what do you think about this here?
All right, real quick. Somebody did a $2 give on Miss PMB 97220 on Rumble. She
Rumble.
gave you y'all. Jermain this director hard. This woman is horrible. This woman's horrible. Okay. What she basically has done is lied to her child who her father is, who his daddy is. That's number one. But most important, she committed fraud. Yep. That is fraud, and she should be locked up. You know what? If people like, how do they know if this is real or not? Because they should be able to pull her daggone prison photo up. That's why she should be locked up, and the man whom was paying all that money should charge and have her locked up. That's not okay. I don't care what her reason is, and this is what feminism has brought. You choose who the child's dad is before you lay down and sleep with the man. That's who you choose. And what this person did was evil. It was evil, and shots out to Miss V-Long. Miss V-Long, we're glad that you're home. We're glad that you're home from the hospital, Miss V-Long. We so glad. Yes, we are. But what this woman did in this video, she should be charged and forced to pay that money back. Mm-hmm. The same way men go into debt of back child support, she should go in for back child support and pay that money back.
I think it's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Now, like I said before, I don't know if this sucker's real or not. And the reason why that is because there's AI and there's a whole bunch of folks putting out dumb stuff.
Yeah.
But one thing I can tell you, this situation is real, regardless of what's going on. Somebody doing something like this, they deserve to be put in jail. Absolute jail. Is paternity fraud. And then on top of that, you are subjugating somebody to a financial burden that they shouldn't have to be, a part of, in a sense. It's absolutely wrong. And then the kid as well gets damaged. The kid doesn't know, who the real father is. The kid gotta, go run around and try to figure out who the real dad is. It's emotionally damaging, psychologically damaging. This type of stuff ruins folks for life. I want people to understand. That's why I've always said you gotta do stuff right. Because if you don't start right, you end up with this type of situation or even worse. Last words on this here, brother.
Shots out to JWL 1980, JWL 1980. They gave you a super chat, double barrel J's on Thursday now. No, we just had to do it because internet hacking is real, as y'all know. It happened to Will Johnson. And all you have to do is download the wrong video to a site that's promised to do something, you get something. So we had to work around it. So no. But thank you for your kindness and generosity and donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely. Let me go ahead and give you the custom man. Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's what it is. That's what it. You had any last words before we moved on?
Oh yeah, I was saying she should go to jail. Just simple and plain. This type of behavior is encouraged because women aren't being held accountable. 20, 30 years ago, she'd be locked up. 30 years ago, she'd be locked up and the parents be embarrassed of us. But they are teaching women now that whatever you do is okay because the patriarchy and toward men. And men has been castrated. Let's go and tell the truth.
They have.
Men today have been castrated and we don't stand up. That's why men, the same way they tell women to take up for each other, men, we need to do the same.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's the only way a lot of this stuff will stop. A lot of it will stop once folks start standing up and being accountable for what's right. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you shout. Next one up. I want to go ahead here and show you guys. Actually, we're going to start a series because there's too many of these videos coming out. And we played one last week. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking about the Carnival cruise fights. Oh yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Yeah, remember last week, ladies and gentlemen, I showed you guys a video of a Carnival cruise fight. All right, Fox News put the video out. We spoke about the video. Blacks were fighting in it. Let me tell you something. There's a new video out. Yeah, there's a new video out. And this video, let me tell you something. Blacks are fighting in it too. But this time they fighting over chicken nuggets. Oh yeah. I want to go ahead and run this when it come back. I want to get you guys' take on this. Why are blacks fighting on Carnival Cruise? I mean, what's going on? Are they serving too much malt liquor over there? What is going on over there? You get what I'm saying, Jamal? I don't know what's going on. Too much chicken, too much malt liquor. Do they not serve enough cigarettes over there? You get what I'm saying? They ran out of Newports. That's what happened, Jamal. They ran out of Newports over there. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, or crab legs. Sometimes when crab legs is gone from the all-you-can-eat buffet, let me tell you something. Black folks get a little bit crabby. Yeah, crab legs is gone, you get crabby. Let me go ahead and run this. When it come back, we shall discuss it. Make sure you guys do your due diligence. Hit that like button. Make sure you do share. Here we go. Massive fight. Apparently over chicken nuggets. Here we go. Man. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, let me tell you. The lion sleeps tonight. Man, look at that. Look at the shoes went flying, weave went flying. It's always black folks too. Security running to safety. Look at over chicken tenders is crazy. Oh yeah, you see at the midnight buffet. I literally said it. Look at them. Yep, see, they showing one in April. You see how they fighting another group of blacks. I think they're gonna ban blacks from Carnival Cruise. This is what I'm thinking. I don't think they got enough insurance for all those black folks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I just don't me
ain't gonna
stop
be
it
able to get
right
on.
here. Ouch! Let me tell ya, Jamal, they fighting. They absolutely fighting. Let me tell you something. What's going on with all these black folks fighting? You know, at the midnight buffet, these black folks is just they throwing haymakers. You know, is it the crab legs? I know sometimes the all you can eat crab legs. You know, it got folks throwing bows. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, them crab legs. What do you think, brother?
We away in the jungle, the mighty jungle. The niggas out tonight. The jungle ain't quiet. The niggas out tonight. It's embarrassing, and nobody needs to be sitting up there talking about white supremacy, slavery, or anything. This right here, which so many people have been talking about with CNN and that Abby Phillips talking about white people benefited off slavery and all this crap. Well, look at this video. There is no white supremacy in this video. Look at how things going, how everybody gets mad. Everybody start talking about Donald Trump said he was going to touch Smithsonian, but they never go back to stuff like this. Black folk ain't in trouble. Black folk ain't oppressed. We oppress ourselves. Name me one city that has a black majority that don't turn into the hood, that don't have crime and trash thrown all over the place. I mean, they are sitting here fighting over chicken tenders, and that's the most nigger stuff you can do. Let's go and tell the truth here now. If you sit here and somebody's like, dun, 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 hey, jigaboo, colored cooney, black porch monkey, brown baboon, melon muncher, chicken bone sucker. Come on. We create our own haters, Jermain.
Mm-hmm.
We do. Oh, my bad. You African. But Africans don't do this. Black folk do this in America.
They do some other stuff.
And this is bad. This is horrible. And anybody that's going to sit here and look at crap like this, when those people have these talks about white supremacy and oppression of black people, they need to show this right here and say, we won't doing this in the 80s. We won't doing this on the cruise ships in the 70s. We start doing this in the 2000s. And Carnival cruises need to raise those prices up so these Section 8 ghetto queens with they long lady pimp daddy baby daddies won't get up on the ship and start acting like this.
I'm telling you, this is embarrassing. It really is. It really is embarrassing, ladies and gentlemen. Now, in April, this past April, in Texas, at the Carnival cruise line down there, they were fighting as well, and I want folks to see it.
With Carnival Cruise Line after getting into a fight. The video from Saturday appears to show a group of people. You see them here shoving each other while disembarking a ship inside of a terminal in Galveston. You can see people being...
This is them fighting, ladies and gentlemen. This was in April. Look how they fighting, beating one another. Most of the men got long hair like they mama.
Yep, that's where that dreadlock stuff comes from.
Remember I was telling folks about the scrigglers? Ladies and gentlemen, you remember about the scrigglers, right? Yeah, I was telling folks about the scrigglers. Yeah, they got the scrigglers in their hair, just like they mama. And the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, you see a lot of this happening is because a lot of these black folks are raised by their mama. And I'm not going to play around with anybody. The black American woman, not all of them, not all of them, not all of them. And let me say this again, not all of them are out of control, but most of them are out of control. with their attitude and their behavior. And I want folks to understand that they're the ones who are raising these children.
They're raising them, yep.
And I'm not going to play around with anybody. So that's why the men got long hair like their mamas. They're very emotional like their mamas. Remember the other week, Jamal, we played you a video of some young black kids stealing at a Walmart. You remember that, right? And they were wearing a robe, right? And they had sandals on and slippers, and they were trying to walk out the door, and they
one
had long hair like their mama.
Hat. Yep, and one of them had on their shower hat.
I want folks to understand that's that type of behavior. You're groomed early. You're groomed with that bullshit very early. I want folks to understand that. And while you're groomed, by the time you get to adolescent, a young adult, you're fighting. You got a couple of felonies. You can't really work a solid job, and the most you can do is sell dope on the block. Yeah, I don't give a F who get mad. That's exactly what's going on. Most of these young men can do something for themselves that's productive, but they don't see it because of the way they have been raised and the media, which is so terrible. Brother, last words on this here before we move forward.
You know what, Jermaine? And they'll call me and you cool.
Oh, yeah. Super
house
cool.
Nigga. and dun, 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 look at them. But they create their own hatred. Let's tell the truth. Black folk create their own enemies. You don't see Asians doing this.
Nope.
You don't see whites doing it.
Nope.
You don't see Latinos.
I don't even see cockroaches do it. Shoot.
But you see niggas.
You see niggas doing it. The niggas are out there fighting like dogs over the last scrap of a bone. That's the way that they're fighting.
Chicken tender.
That's how crazy it is. So I want folks, that's the main reason why a lot of this is going on. Now, does the media go and tell you the reason why it goes on? They don't. All they do is show you this, and then they'll bring Al Sharpton over. Al Sharpton will come up with some bullshit called post-traumatic slavery syndrome, right? He'll say it's because, those black folks, their descendants were slaves, see, and since they were slaves, they didn't know how to act right, see. When they were slaves, they were fighting over, a ham hock and chicken bones, and now, you see, over the generations, these black folks are fighting over real chicken tenders. It's slavery, it's the white man. That's the way they want to present it, and it's not right.
It's not.
So when folks like me and Jamal are speaking the truth on it, they're going to censor us. Because if anybody hears the stuff we're saying, it's almost like you can't run from the truth. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, you can't refute what I'm saying. That, hey, most of these black folks are raised by their mama. Most of them look like their mama. They act like their mama. Yeah, the men are very emotional like they mama. And that's why they're fighting. And guess what? Ain't nobody gonna tell me I'm wrong. So that's why we get censored, right? They would rather have somebody out there who's nice and clean cut, who says, everything is about socialism and communism, right? Just throwing those buzzwords out there and then moving forward. That's why we get censored. So I want folks to understand that, right? We make you critically think, because once you see this, you can't refute it. They're like, gosh darn it, that black guy. I hate him. Can't believe he's saying that. So liberals don't want anybody to see this because they'll say, yeah, you know what? They're telling the truth on here. Yeah. And the reason why a lot of these other races aren't doing it, these other ethnicities for these black hustlers out here, is because they were raised in a different environment and they were raised in a nuclear family structure. I know, you gonna hate, right? Especially if you're raised by your mama. You gonna hate? Yeah, you gonna hate it. You're not gonna like my message. Most of these other ethnicities, I want black folks and the idiot white liberals to listen. It's very simple. If you go and speak to Asians, most of them have a nuclear family structure. Yeah, Vang Bang, T. Lee, Chung Lee, and them, they ain't running around and getting all these baby daddies. You know why? Because they have a strict family culture. They see something like that, they disown you. Yeah, they're talking shit about you. You bringing shame on the family. I know, ain't that crazy? I know. There's ethnicities and traditions like that out there still. If you go and speak to Apu and them, East Indians, they still have a family structure. Yeah, even the Muslims that come here. You think I'm like, yeah? How come we ain't seen tons of these Muslims fighting like this? Well, when you go to let me say this. When you come to Minneapolis, the Somalians over there, they act like the niggas that are over there, so they always fighting and stealing and killing. Yeah, I said it. And that's what it is. Not all of them, but they've adopted that bullshit black ghetto mentality, and they're fighting, stealing, and killing. So somebody got to say it, and we got to be honest about it. So, brother, let's go ahead and move forward.
Let's go.
Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. All right? Make sure you share. Because I know somebody going to be mad about what I said. They are. And I want them to refute what I'm saying. If you're alive long enough, you know what I'm saying is correct. Right? Yeah. You know it. Let's go ahead and move forward. Next one up, I want to speak to you guys about American culture and capitalism.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy. But what's more crazy is what this young lady is saying. Her name is, well, she goes by Lil Tay, all right? She's on Instagram. She's on YouTube. She's on Facebook. But she recently got on OnlyFans. And within, ladies and gentlemen, 3 days, she made $1 million. And what she's saying is if you're over 20 and you're working a 9 to 5, what she's saying is that you failed in life. I want you guys to listen to what she's saying. When it comes back, we shall discuss it. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. All right? Here we go. Lil Tay saying that you're a failure if you're working 9 to 5 and you're over 20 and you're a female. Here we go.
If you're over the age of 25 and you're still working a 9 to 5, you are a failure. Like, by then you should have already made your bag. And ladies, every single one of you should drop the link like me. Like, just literally just make your bag. Who gives a what anybody thinks? Screw your family. My family kicked me out. I got disowned. They don't talk to me anymore. They don't me. But who gives a shit? I can literally buy their whole life if I wanted to. I'm good. Also, fuck education, because Harvard was never going to help me make 8 figures. That's why I dropped out of it, and I dropped the link instead.
Bow. I want to go ahead and rewind it and replay it again. This could be your young daughter if you don't raise her right. This could be your cousin if you didn't put that belt to that ass. Here we go.
If you're over the age of 25 and you're still working a 9 to 5, you are a failure. Like, by then you should have already made your bag. And ladies, every single one of you should drop the link like me. Like, just literally just make your bag. Who gives a what anybody thinks? Screw your family. My family kicked me out. I got disowned. They don't talk to me anymore. They don't me. But who gives a shit? I can literally buy their whole life if I wanted to. I'm good. Also, fuck education, because Harvard was never going to help me make 8 figures. That's why I dropped out of it, and I dropped the link instead.
Make your
Bow.
bag.
She said, drop that link, Jamal. She said, she went and made that bag. It's all about the bag. Hold on. It's all about the bag. You get what I'm saying? It's all about the bag, Jamal. Screw your family. You get what I'm saying? You go ahead and you drop some of them coochie pics. You drop some of them Tata pics on there. You drop that link. It's all about that bag, that money. What do you think about what she's saying?
Well, you know what? She made $1 million in 3 days. So you know what? I guess here's the thing about what she's done. Okay, just to let you know what she's done. She has proven one thing that liberals have been saying that she's disproved. Body positivity don't work. We all beautiful don't work. The reason why is because she's young, attractive, hot, and a lot of young boys saw her and wanted to get it, because at the end of the day, men that age 18 and 19 still want women. They don't want another man. Yep. They don't want a man that calls himself a woman. They don't want little Jazz, who's a boy. You ain't you Damien, you's a boy. Not no gal, you's a boy. They want not Sergeant Sarchis. They want Petty Officer Poontang. They don't want the crap that liberals are putting out. And she just blew the liberal argument apart. Now, is that right? How she's doing it? No, because she's ghetto with black folk. Get your bag. What I tell you, black culture is exporting ignorance.
Yep, always.
Get your bag. Get your money up. This woman is a disgrace, and she shouldn't be doing it. Now, she's 18. She has every right to. And if that's what she wants to do, it's wrong, and people should speak out against it. But if she waited till she said, I'm 18 years old, I'm not gonna lie, it's wrong. But I say this, she disproved body positivity. No fat chick gonna be able to do what she did, and no ugly chick gonna be able to do what she did.
You absolutely correct. You absolutely correct about that. Now, Jerry Lewis is asking, what does drop that link mean? Drop that link means, you go and make yourself an account, and then when you make yourself an account on OnlyFans, you go and, apparently go on social media and you drop that link, on people's pages. That's what it means. Yeah, that's the slang term for drop that link. You get what I'm saying? And this type of behavior is what's ruining the dating culture, is ruining relationships between men and women, right? Yeah, it's ruining, ladies and gentlemen, America in a sense. It really is. It's a culture that is pervasive, and it also leads to abuse.
Yes.
You know how many women will go through this, go through OnlyFans, drop a link, do all this sexual stuff online, and at the end of the day, you know, when the camera shuts off and they are by themselves, that's when the loneliness is. That's where the psychological depression comes in. They don't have a good life at all. And I want folks to understand that. It's not like these folks are, magically happy when the money comes. I mean, of course, they get some sort of excitement. I can buy this, I can buy that. But at the end of the day, they're not truly happy.
No, they're
not. And it's hard for them to, have a personal relationship with a person when you're putting this type of thing out there. You get all sorts of creeps. And you're not going to get genuine folks who want to be there for you. So it's just crazy. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Any last words on this here, sir?
Jermain, it's like a catch-22. I'm sitting here looking at this at the same time. Jermain, maybe society is correcting itself. The Lizzos are being thrown over for the gorillas. The ugly girls who told they just as pretty are being replaced by this woman here because she's 18. Still old enough to be my youngest daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Her family and parents failed her. The attitude she has, she just didn't adopt that attitude. She been had it. And she displayed it when she was 11, 10, and like that. And nobody slapped her back into reality. When she started running her mouth like that, when she was younger, somebody should have just went. Just like that. Sit your butt down. I don't want to hear that crap. That type of behavior and mentality just don't click on when you get 18. She was doing that, sounding like that, and showing a little, as they say, she was fast when she was 13 and 12.
I'm telling you, crazy. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you do share. We got a lot more to discuss. Next one on the docket. We're going to speak to you about the Minnesota Vikings.
Vikings!
Oh, yeah, the Vikings, apparently. They got some new cheerleaders, and it has caused a backlash and a storm. Let me tell you. A lot of folks are mad. I want to go ahead and run this. When it come back, I want to speak about this here. Why are people so mad? Here we go.
The Minnesota Vikings getting ready to tackle their rivals as the NFL season approaches. But the team, now playing defense after announcing two new members of its cheerleading squad are men.
This is
Blaze and Louie earning spots after a rigorous audition process.
I went to a lot of Vikings games with my family, mainly my dad. Was definitely watching cheerleaders thinking like, I wish I could do that. Being that role model for other little kids who don't know that this is an option.
But the inclusion of the two men on the 35-person cheer roster has some calling to boycott the team, with replies to the Vikings Instagram post reading, "I'm not a Viking fan no more," and I just lost all my respect for the Vikings. Across social media, far-right accounts latching on to the backlash, and even a former player blatantly hateful. Antonio Brown, currently wanted by police for attempted murder, which he denies, calling Blaze a homophobic slur. Plenty of others defending the cheerleaders, writing, "They were incredible and deserve their spot as a part of the squad." The Vikings telling NBC News, so far, no fans have canceled their season tickets, and writing, quote, "Male cheerleaders have been part of previous Vikings teams and have long been associated with collegiate and professional cheerleading. We support all of our cheerleaders and are proud of the role they play as ambassadors of the organization." Efforts to reach the 2 male cheerleaders for comment were unsuccessful. Of course, cheerleading men is nothing new. There have been countless parodies like this classic Will Ferrell SNL skit. Or the iconic teen drama Bring It On.
But see, they want women roles. They were men. They acted like
But even
men,
former presidents George
not
W.
girls.
Bush, Ronald Reagan, and Dwight Eisenhower were cheerleaders, and many consider men a vital part of the squad. The Vikings point out a third of NFL teams have male cheerleaders. The league embracing other identities too. The Carolina Panthers, since 2022, have featured the first and only openly transgender cheerleader in the NFL. It's also not the first time the sidelines have stolen center stage. Pay and fair treatment of NFL
Now
cheerleading
that
squads,
right there, what
a
the
long-running
hell is that?
controversy.
1, 2, 3, and
The
4.
Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders recently scoring a 400% pay increase after they became an internet sensation following the Netflix docuseries America's Sweethearts. Some teams rebranding. The Washington Commanders going with a fully co-ed dance squad, while others, like the New York Jets, losing its flight crew altogether since 2022. But now the Vikings
You ain't
backing up
gonna
its
see
cheer
no
team
dude.
and shaking up the routine.
The Viking Adrian Broaddus is joining us now. Adrian, it's
So
the Vikings
there you
who are in
go.
the spotlight now, but it's
There
not like other
you
teams.
go. So the Vikings right now, they're getting a lot of heat for this. You know, it's not like they're the first male cheerleaders on the squad there, but you know, I think they're very open in the way they rolled out their cheerleader. The male cheerleaders is what got a lot of folks talking here. You know, brother, what do you think about something like this? You know, the male cheerleaders are they trying to influence the young, or what are they doing?
Well, there you go. I've been waiting to use that one, and this is the one for it. Not to jump around like a bunch of Kansas City. You know what, Jermain? They all right. Male cheerleaders have been around, but the difference between what they're doing and what these people are doing, they are trying to pass themselves off as women. They're trying to pass themselves off as women. That's what's wrong. Dwight D. Eisenhower and everybody they mentioned, these people were men and they presented themselves as men who was doing cheer, not men who confused and think they women. And so that's, you know, they're trying to be one of the girls. They were one of the guys, not one of the girls. And that's the problem. People are sick and tired of this trans stuff being shoved down their throat. You don't have to be like that and cheer. You can be a regular dude.
Yeah.
A regular dude. Like, if I'm doing cheer, like, yo, Jermain, you know, I'm doing the cheerleading, like, yeah, cheer. Yeah, Steelers. Steelers. Not Steelers. Steelers. I want feel some of that.
Yeah.
Steel. That's different, bruh. And that's what people sick of.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely correct. You know, in high school, junior high, they had those type of male cheerleaders, but they were male. They weren't doing all the quote unquote sissy stuff. You get what I'm saying?
Nope.
They were the real deal males, and they were used to for strength, to throw up the cheerleaders, to catch the cheerleaders. You get what I'm saying? That was their role. You get what I'm saying? Somebody was speaking about that in the comments there. Let me see if I can find them here. Sin Napier. The male cheerleaders in high school were called spotters. I'm telling you, they weren't sitting there doing all that, girlish stuff. They were actually male guys. You get what I'm saying? They would throw and catch the girls, put them down. Yep. You get what I'm saying? They even had a male persona. But these cheerleaders, you see the guy got long hair. You know what I'm saying? He looked like a woman. You're going like this and that. We're tired of that. Yes. We're tired of that. And that type of stuff there, ladies and gentlemen, is all used to hypnotize and influence the youth. That's all it is. A lot of folks are still watching these sports teams and things of that nature. In my personal opinion, the liberals have ruined a lot of sports with their social messaging and the way they are now carrying out the sport. It's no longer the same. They have really nannied everything around there. So now, it's not the same old game like it used to be. They're about messaging and hypnotizing the youth. That's all they're about. So as soon as people start recognizing this and, pleading to the sports organizations and saying, hey, we just want to see sports. We don't want to see none of this other crap that you guys are doing.
Nope.
Then they will stop it. But as long as folks are still paying money and sitting there and being hypnotized, it will still go forward. There's so much stuff wrong with our country. Sports should be a last thing anybody's sitting there talking about. We got so many distractions as well, right? You go to work for 8 to 12 hours a day for a lot of folks. You come home, you're tired. You get what I'm saying? And then you got this type of crap going on, this, that, and the third. It's all used to distract you and to hypnotize the youth and to make sure that they push their agenda. Last words on this here, sir.
Jermain, people just want to go back to have a regular football game the way things used to be 10, 20 years ago. That long-legged pimp daddy, Barack Obama, has ushered in all this crap.
Mm-hmm.
It must go back to Barack Obama. Barack Obama put in the judges that was pro-GBTLQ. And these judges granted privileges in the name of rights. This is disgusting. And the people of Minnesota should be disgraced, but they got so many Somalians up there that vote Democrat. And then the white people up there in Minnesota, where the area you at, they more ashamed of being white than they are proud to be an American. So that's where you get stuff like this. White guilt and a bunch of foreign invaders form a fist with one purpose, one goal, and they're seceding.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and move forward. Ladies and gentlemen, please, oh please, do your due diligence. Hit that like button. Make sure you do share. All right. Next one up, I want to speak to you guys about Target. Oh, yeah, Target is in a whole heap of trouble. Finances are going down the tube, and Target's CEO is stepping down as customers are turning away from the company. Their stocks aren't doing well, and they're all blaming a pastor and his Target boycott. I want to go ahead here and run this very, very, very viral clip. And when it come back, we shall discuss it. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. Here we go.
The Target CEO, Brian Cornell, is stepping down after 11 years with the company. His departure, which was widely expected, comes as customers are now turning away from the store. Target's stock is among the worst performing companies in the U.S. right now. The S&P 500 this year showing it's way down more than 20%, I should say, to be specific. Let's go live right now to CNN business and politics correspondent Vanessa Yurkevich. Vanessa, what else led to Cornell's exit?
Yeah, the CEO is out. The CEO is now stepping in. Brian Cornell, who has led the company for more than a decade through some of the company's best years, but most recently through some of the worst years, really not able to dig the company out of the hole. So now you have Michael Fidelki, the CEO, stepping into that position on February 1st. Investors were hoping that Target was going to bring in a fresh face, but the company said after an exhaustive search, they're going with one of their own. You can see shares of Target stock right now down about 11% earlier today. 8% down right now. This is also because of slumping sales. They reported another quarter of sales decline. You have customers pulling back, but you also had in the beginning of this year, Wolf, a boycott by many of Target's core customers who were really upset with the brand after they rolled back their DEI initiatives. The brand was known for being LGBTQ focused and putting a lot of that branding front and center. They pulled back on that, and then consumers pulled back. Also, tariffs, headwinds facing the company. Listen to outgoing CEO Brian Cornell on what happened with tariffs with the company.
As one of the largest importers in the country, the prospect of higher tariffs meant we were facing some major financial and operational hurdles as we entered the year. This was further complicated by the multiple changes in tariff policy that have been announced and implemented as the year has progressed.
And that was Brian Cornell earlier this morning on the company's earnings call. Now, listen, the company did say they were able to mitigate as best they could these tariff pressures, but 50% of the inventory that they sell is manufactured abroad. So that's being hit with tariffs. Also, 50% of all inventory they sell is discretionary, and that's usually where consumers pull back first. So a double whammy for the company there. Target saying that they're hoping to turn things around in the next couple years and looking to do so, Wolf, with this new incoming CEO.
We'll see if that happens. Vanessa Yurkevich, thank you very, very much.
Wow. So that's what it is right now. Target CEO has stepped down. All right. A lot of folks are saying it's because of this boycott. Now, before you answer anything here, Jamal, I want to go ahead and play you a video from I think this is NBC News. They spoke to Pastor Jamal. All right, Pastor Jamal, who led the Target boycott. They caught his reaction to the CEO stepping down. I want to go ahead and play that for you guys. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. Here we go.
Tonight, an Atlanta pastor who led a national boycott of Target is reacting to news of a leadership change at the company. Pastor Jamal Bryan of New Birth Missionary Baptist Church in Stonecrest says he plans to keep pushing for change. Target says Chief Operating Officer Michael Fidelki will become CEO in February as the retailer works to recover from falling sales. Target is struggling with strong competition from stores like Walmart and rising costs from tariffs. But Pastor Brian, who led the nationwide boycott over Target scaling back its diversity and inclusion policies, says that protest also contributed to the company's financial troubles. And he's urging the new CEO to reverse course.
If he's watching, please, kind sir, we can put a ribbon around this and keep going. Our demands have not changed since February. Number one is that they would honor their commitment to the George Floyd family of $2 billion back into the black community. Number two is that they would invest $250 million in the black banks. Number three, that they will partner with 6 HBCUs. And number four is that they would reimagine what DEI looks like.
On a call with analysts today, Target's new incoming CEO said the company must improve, but he didn't say anything about reversing course on the company's
and he's a black male.
policies.
Yeah, a black male blackmailing. Brother, it sounds like a black male blackmailing right here. You know, they're first asking some money to go to George Floyd and his foundation. Money to Morehouse and Spelman, everything black. These folks are blackmailing. Brother, what do you think about all the blackmail who's blackmailing? What do you think?
You know what, Jermaine? This is what I find funny. Everybody on liberal media is claiming Jamal Bryant and his targeting of DEI. But if you look, increased shoplifting led to implementing locked display cases for many products, which negatively impact customer experience. That's one of them. Okay. That's one of them. Also, black folk was inventory issues after the pandemic. Target faced an accumulation of excess inventory as demand for non-essential items decreased, forcing aggressive markdowns and impacting profits. Okay. Now, they're all trying to go back to this diversity, inclusion and stuff. Target was already going down. Okay. And here's the thing. They should have never promised to do that stuff in the first place.
Yep.
They should have never did it. And I'm glad that they said that they're not going to do it. And I'm glad this new CEO, they don't know if the new CEO is going to bring back the DEI hire, because if they do, then conservatives need to say we're not shopping.
Yep, we're not shopping over there.
We're not shopping over there. I haven't shopped at Target in years, ever since they started displaying the gay stuff.
Yeah.
When they start doing the trans and hide the penis and all that, shorts that tuck in little boys' penis so they can pierce little girls, I stopped shopping then. And then Target has always been Target. If you ever heard people say about Target, Target is not like Walmart. It's just a more expensive Walmart. That's what you heard. They was just a more expensive Walmart. That's all it was. And it just felt like Target, you just didn't shop there. It just felt like, okay, it's Walmart for well-to-do people, and that's how they presented themselves. But if Jamal Bryant wanted to run around and say he got it shut down, if they put that DEI stuff, then somebody from the other side should boycott them and show them how to really do it. Stay out of the DEI crap. Stay out of it. Stay out of the politics. They need to get someone to stay out of the politics. This CEO who was around, and I'm looking at his picture right now, he been there since 2020. He actively did and went after the DEI. He
DEI
actively
stuff.
He did it. And it shows right here. CEO appears CBS Bell's New York Stock Exchange on the morning of November 28th, 2014. He was there November 28th, 2014. He actively decided to go after the George Floyd crap. He actively decided to do that. Here's him shaking President Trump's hand. And let me show you real quick, Jermain. Here's him shaking President Trump's hand and Mike Pence.
Oh, yeah, Mike Pence.
This is during COVID. Okay? So he joined and jumped on the bandwagon. Look at this. November 28th, 2014. He actively did this crap. And he's paying for it.
Yeah. You know, this should be a lesson for a lot of these companies to stay out of politics.
Yes.
Because they went and pursued this type of deal because they wanted to be trendy. They wanted to be cool. They wanted to go along with what the liberals were saying. It got them in hot water. They made promises that they couldn't keep. And when they found out that a lot of the stuff that they promised was, you know, let's be honest, all bullshit, is all to make black folks feel good. I mean, they stopped doing it. You know, and black folks in this country, let me tell you something. They're very selfish when it comes to this type of entitlement. You know, they want you to go ahead and spend black money at, send money to Spelman and Morehouse and help all these black organizations like the George Floyd Foundation and everything else. How about other ethnicities, right? While Target is helping blacks, how about the Asians?
Yep.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? How about the East Indians? How about the cockroaches and the cats and the dogs? You get what I'm saying? That's the avenue that they travel once they start promising this type of stuff. Because it's like all you care about is black, and black folks don't think about it. That black folks run around and think about, everything should be geared towards us because we were slaves. What about everybody else? They never think about this type of stuff, Jamal. And the white folks who are doing this, they don't think about this stuff either. They just think, okay, I'm just gonna go along with what the CNN is putting there. And CNN, they do the same thing. They don't care about anybody else except for the blacks and the immigrants right now. That's it. Trying to make them feel good, and they're not talking about real policies. They're talking about feel-good stuff. Hey, President Trump is doing this. How does this make you feel? They're not saying why the law is there. How does this make you feel? Oh, my goodness gracious. He got the National Guard in D.C. Oh, my goodness gracious. He's cutting down crime. How do you feel about that? He's targeting black people. All sorts of nonsense. Last words on this here before we move forward.
I would like to thank Christian Walker. I would like to thank Christian Walker. Thank you for your kindness and generosity. Kindness and generosity.
Absolutely. Shout out to you.
Jermain, Target should have never got into it, because now people who was barely shopping aren't going. And I never see that many black folk in Target. Let me go and tell the truth. I don't see that many black folk in Target. I always saw whites.
Yeah, you hardly see any black folks. It's too expensive.
But it's not just Jamal Bryant, that lying false prophet. He probably was there trying to pick up some 17-year-old girls, knowing him, nasty bastard.
You know it. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. Next one up. I want to speak to you guys, and let me pull this out here. Make sure I see. Okay, bow. I want to speak to you guys about DC. Because what's happening in DC, I think, needs to happen in most major cities right now. President Trump has really, in a sense, showed the way on how it needs to be done. There's folks out there like Al Sharpton, Benjamin Crump, who I just heard not too long ago, run his mouth about how Trump is targeting blacks in this DC crackdown. But I want folks to understand something here. There is no other man who's going to step up, especially black, who's going to do the right thing. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, I've always said that to save black people, you're going to need probably Jesus and a white man. And you're laughing.
Yeah, I'm like, he got
a white man is always saving black folks. And black folks are the first one to sit there and get upset. Thank God, thank God for white folks. Oh, somebody gonna call me a coon now. Oh, Jermain cooning it up right now. You see that, Jermain? Go ahead and lick them white folks' boots.
Coon.
They can get mad all they want. Thank God for white folks, let me tell you. And the white man. Because without the white man stepping up and seeing black folks' destruction and doing something about it, nothing will ever be done. Nothing. Let me go ahead here and run this when I come back. I want to speak to you guys about it. Pam Bondi reveals 630 arrests and 86 illegal guns seized in this D.C. crackdown campaign, ladies and gentlemen. She said it's fire that they shelling out. I want to go ahead and run this. When I come back, we shall discuss it. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. Help us out. We need your help. All right? Here we go.
Vice President Vance firing back at people protesting the federal takeover of D.C.'s police department. Take a listen.
This is the guy who thinks people don't deserve law and order in their own community.
Pete Hegseth and Stephen Miller were also on hand. They were there to thank National Guardsmen who've been protecting Union Station. Here's what the vice president told Laura Ingraham.
I had heard from a couple of friends who used to avoid Union Station because there were vagrants and there were crazy people screaming at kids, that they avoided Union Station. But over the past 9 days, since the president did this emergency order, it looks a lot better. It feels a lot safer. So I was talking with Stephen Miller and with Pete Hegseth about this in the Oval Office yesterday. And I was like, we should just go over there and say hello to people. And you've got a lot of National Guardsmen over there, some D.C. cops who have been heckled by some of the protesters. So I thought, what a good show of moral support to have the vice president and some of the senior team at the White House show up. We bought him some burgers, hang out with him a little bit.
And President Trump writing on Truth Social, quote, just like our southern border is now 100% secure, Washington, D.C. is safe again, and we have just begun the process of revival. Lucas Tomlinson live in D.C. this morning with more on this. Hi, Lucas.
Good morning, Bill. A show of force by the Trump administration at Union Station in the nation's capital. The vice president, defense secretary, and deputy chief of staff showing their support to National Guard soldiers and the police, and drawing the ire of protesters. Let's hear more from that video.
This is the guy who thinks people don't deserve law and order in their own community. I know that we've traded now some violent, crazy people who are screaming at kids with a few crazy liberals who are screaming at the vice president, but I think that's a very worthwhile trade to make because we want our people to be able to enjoy our beautiful cities.
Now, for context, Bill, last year the murder rate in Washington, D.C. was nearly 4 times higher than in your home in Los Angeles and nearly 6 times more than where you are right now in New York. D.C. police claims violent crime is down 27% this year. The Justice Department would like a word and is now investigating those numbers. Now, since this new show of force in D.C. with the National Guard and feds patrolling the streets, violent crime is down 30% and robbery down nearly 50%. Attorney General Pam Bondi providing an operational update this morning on X, posting, "We've now made a total of 630 arrests and seized 86 illegal guns in D.C. 53 arrests were made yesterday, plus 24 ICE arrests and 10 guns taken off the streets." Here's Stephen Miller.
We're going to dismantle those networks, and we're going to prove that a city can serve for the law-abiding citizens who live there. We are not going to let the communists destroy a great American city, let alone the nation's capital.
Miller also referred to those protesters as, quote, elderly white hippies, Bill.
Heard that one. All right, Lucas Tomlinson live in D.C. for us this morning. Lucas, thanks.
And Will Kane joins us now. Great to have you. Love seeing you at 4 o'clock, right before the 5. But right now I want to ask you about this because D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser, she was asked about that visit to Union Station. Watch here.
Do you think placing the troops at major transit hubs or monuments is the most strategic deployment instead of, say, high crime areas?
I don't think the National Guard should be used for law enforcement. And I think calling men and women from their homes and their jobs and their families, they have to be used on their, on mission-specific items that benefit the nation. I don't think you have an armed militia in the nation's capital.
Well, I can understand sort of the hesitation from a local official about National Guard troops, but if you think about those statistics that Lucas Tomlinson just revealed, if it's successful, there's not going to be a lot of argument.
Wow, and I'm going to stop it right here. So there you go. You guys heard a little bit here. The D.C. crackdown was a crack. Gosh darn it was a crackdown. Let me tell you.
Yes.
They went and picked up a lot of folks, and they cleaned up that city. They certainly did. Now, I want to go ahead here and play another video by J.D. Vance, okay? This is a Fox News video. It has J.D. Vance. Very quick video. And he speaks about one day of the campaign. I want you guys to take a look at this. Make sure you share. Shout out to J.D. Vance.
I thought, what a good show of moral support to have the vice president and some of the senior team at the White House show up. We bought him some burgers, hang out with him a little bit. And actually, the most interesting thing, Laura, was after the cameras left, Pete and Steve and I stayed and, had lunch with these troops and just learned a lot about what they're seeing, about how much the city has changed in just the past 9 days. So crazy statistic. Violent crime has dropped in D.C. 35% in 9 days. Robberies in D.C. have dropped 55% in 9 days. And it highlights the fact that this living with lawlessness and disorder, that's fundamentally a question of political will. If you've got the political will to enforce the law, you can make even cities like D.C. safe again. And that's what we're demonstrating. And I hope that the American people take an important lesson from this, because obviously D.C. is a federal city, New York, L.A., these places are not. I hope the American people just recognize that you don't have to live with lawlessness. You don't have to live with third world murder rates. If you just take control of these cities, you can make them safe places to live again.
Wow. So that's what it is.
Hey, Sean.
J.D. Vance looked like he had some eyeshadow on or something. Look at this. Am I tripping, or does he have eyeshadow on, ladies and gentlemen? Look at this picture here. Whoever's putting eyeshadow on him, they need to stop doing it. Allow him to look like a nice American male. We don't need eyeshadow on somebody. You get what I'm saying? Look, he looked like he got some eyeshadow, or eyeliner, something. Ladies and gentlemen, the women should know. Women out there, what does he got? Doesn't he look like he got something on his eyes?
I can't tell the difference.
I gotta be retarded. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm retarded, but he looked like he got some on his eyes. But besides that, besides J.D. Vance's eyes, you know, I can tell you, this D.C. crackdown, ladies and gentlemen, is the right way to go. I believe every major city needs to have this happen. When you have a major crackdown and you have a main political force like this, you could get a lot done. So we see that a lot of crime that persists in a lot of areas is because there's no political will to stop it. They can stop it, but really there's no political will for them to stop it. And as a matter of fact, Jamal, it becomes more beneficial to have the crime around than for it to stop, you know? What do you think about this?
You know what, Jermaine? I'm going to go on and say it. It looks like, number one, I can't tell if he have any eyeliner on or anything. I don't know the difference. But everybody keeps saying Donald Trump is targeting blacks. That's where the crime is at. And what is it showing, and what's going on and what's being done is show that black officials put color before duty. They put their color of their skin above keeping the peace, people safe and keeping the peace. You notice when she was standing up there, Bowser had a black lady police chief and a black this, black that.
Yep.
Everything black folk touch goes to hell. They believe that man could be their son or their brother. No, that's a criminal. That girl could be your daughter or granddaughter. No, that's a trick and a hooker. Lock her up. And so these people come in important positions trying to be, say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. This ain't slavery. This ain't the days of slavery. Those young men that's being arrested were arrested for some. As my daddy would say, you weren't arrested going to Sunday school. You weren't arrested for praising in church too loud. And your dang show won't locked up and held because you got the Holy Ghost. You was locked up, held, and put in jail for being a nigger. Yeah. And that's why you got the federal government take over. Because the niggas in D.C. done lost their mind.
Yeah, they crazy. Now, if anybody been to D.C., I've been to D.C. several times. A lot of black folks are out there. Yeah, a lot of black folks, let me tell you. Especially, I'm telling you, a lot of black folks. In Maryland, Baltimore, around that area, let me tell you. A lot of black folks. And there's a lot of crime. And one thing that the mainstream media is not going to do is going to tell you the truth about the crime and the reason why it persists there. It's more beneficial to have the crime there. And I want folks to understand that. because the crime that is there, they can always rally to try to get the crime down. And I want folks to understand that. If the crime is down, it's hard for some folks to get into office. They don't have really any good platforms. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the platforms people are running it on is crime, keeping the crime down. But as you can see, the crime can get down if there is a political will for it.
Yes.
So that lets you know folks been playing around. They've been playing games. And a lot of the political will, ladies and gentlemen, is carried away because of the black folks' cries. Okay? There's so much crime in the black community that when the cops come in and they're arresting folks, they're arresting cousins, aunts, uncles, daddies, mamas, brothers, and sisters. And black folks, in a sense, because of the low IQ, people can get mad at me all they want. The low education, they believe they are being targeted. And in a sense, yes, you're being targeted. Yeah.
You're breaking the law.
If crime is always in that area and it's nothing but black folks are doing it, yeah, they're targeting black folks. I mean, it's just common sense here. And black folks are not going to step up and stop crime. How many, Jamal, and we've had a long history of black politicians in this country. Mm-hmm. How many law and order black politicians do you know that are catching black folks and then they're a mayor or they're a governor, they're catching black folks and they're standing on business? How many do you know?
Too many, and the communities get worse.
There you go.
The communities get worse.
So we need folks to understand that this type of enforcement is needed. It is to police this type of demographic. Point blank, period. Especially when this demographic listening to rap music that talks about violence daily.
And robbing people.
I swear to goodness. That's why I think that a lot of white folks are, they are willfully ignorant when it comes to this. You shouldn't wait for black folks like me to point out the obvious. If you spend most of your time listening to black booty shaking music, black folks talking about robbing and killing one another, obviously you're going to be influenced into that type of mentality. Black folks that are out there, a lot of them, ladies and gentlemen, I know I'm going to catch hell for it, but I don't care. Some of them are retarded, and some of them, they just don't care. They like that type of, that type of attitude, that type of, how can I say, that type of culture, that gangster culture. They love it.
Yep.
Right? Jamal, I'm a real nigga. Hold on. I'm a real nigga. Being a real nigga is something that a lot of black folks aspire to. Jamal, I don't make this stuff up. And for the white folks out there, I want you to know what being a real nigga means. Being a real nigga means that you don't listen to white folks. Being a real nigga means you do whatever you want. Being a real, I'm telling y'all, you think I'm playing. Being a real nigga means finessing folks. Scamming folks. Being a piece of individual. There's plenty of black folks who aspire to be that. As a matter of fact, it's a title like a badge of honor in the black community, being a real nigga.
Yep.
And if you don't speak about this type of stuff in the mainstream media, in the American lexicon, let me tell ya, you're not getting to the root of the problem. Because white liberals aren't going to speak like this. They're going to tell you it's some cultural problem that is being pushed by America, specifically folks on the right and some other BS stuff. And it's not true. Last words on this here, Jamal.
You know what, Jermain? I'm gonna play this right here, and this is gonna say everything. And this goes to show black politicians. This is how they were depicted in 1972 and 73. And look at today.
Oh, yeah. Look how he turned that picture around.
That's black politicians. And our communities suffer because of it. Our communities suffer because black politicians have been doing that for years. They don't live in the communities. I bet you Bowser don't live nowhere, and she's the mayor. She don't live nowhere in D.C. like that, where she's seeing the bad parts of D.C., Union Station, and stuff like that. She gets caught. She gets escorted in with a police escort. She don't live in the projects. The police chief don't live in the projects. Black folk do. That's why blacks who live in the city are glad what President Trump has done. But it's like J.D. Vance, especially Stephen Miller said, it's white hippies who coming from Georgetown coming to express their dislike for President Trump, and they're willing to express their dislike for President Trump on the backs of black dead bodies, especially children.
Absolutely. You know, it's going to take folks waking up, but it's also going to take, believe it or not, you know, good men of all colors to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And in this situation here, the person that is saving black families, black people, is a white man. You just can't get over it. I don't care who get mad. It's a white man. Now, this white man is supposed to go hang out with the police officers and military tonight. Let me go ahead and run this. When it come back, we shall discuss it. Here we go.
Fox can confirm that President Trump will go on patrol tonight in our nation's capital with law enforcement and military personnel at his side.
Bow. So, apparently he was supposed to go on patrol with the police and them, but Jamal, the word is that he didn't go, right? He just brought some stuff for the folks, right?
Yes, he bought pizzas because I saw it on Jesse Waters. He brought pizza, hamburgers for the police and stuff. I'm trying to bring it up now so you can be able to see it. Being it's Fox News, and Fox News don't. And not to jump subjects, but that's what I like about Fox. Fox don't do the they don't do that copyright crap on you. But here's them talking about it right here. And oh god, I can't stand these commercials. But yeah, they were showing. Here it go, Jermaine. They were showing right here. President Trump.
Okay, there he is.
Yeah, see, there you go. That's him. I can't stand this.
I'm telling you, every time you click something, they get bad.
Yeah, and that's President Trump right there. He brought pizzas and stuff like that. And so you can see that's what he did. He brought them pizzas and things for them to be able to eat, because they said if he would have did that, it would have been logistical nightmare if he would have rode around, because the whole, he gonna have an A-10 gunship flying over his head.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a medical staff in case anything's happened.
Snipers on the rooftops. Let me tell you.
Yes. And so they were like, it's a logistical nightmare. So he brought them pizzas and stuff. But regardless, he's saving folk lives. He's doing what it takes to save people lives. And the people lives whom he's saving is black folk. It ain't them white liberals down there from Georgetown. They ain't got to live in these bad neighborhoods. It's black folk who live in the projects and who've been living in this area since the 70s and 80s. And I'm going to say this and shut up. I went to D.C. when I was 12 and 13. My aunt and uncles, I went to walk because they took me to a pizza place. And I almost wanted to go up the street, Jermaine, and just walk around and see the people. I almost got beat when I got back. Not because I left, but because I didn't realize how dangerous DC was. Cars that were shot up by Uzis. And this was 88, 89.
I'm telling you. President Trump, him going down there, even him wanting to go and, be with the police officers and the military, that shows you a guy who wants to be on the front lines and wants to put some skin in the game. And I want folks to understand that. Right? We didn't see Sleepy Joe do it. If Sleepy Joe was going to do it, he would literally be slipping. You see how he slipped up the stairs going on Air Force One? Yeah, you remember that? How you going to slip up a stairs? That is crazy to me. He slipped up the stairs. This man would be slipping on banana peels, slipping on cigarette butts while walking, all sorts of dumb stuff. The liberals, ladies and gentlemen, make money off of this type of destruction. They really do. It's an easy way for them to campaign, right? When there's a whole bunch of crime. They can make up false charities, false organizations, so that they can rake in the money. And this is something that a lot of politicians do. That's probably another reason why they don't like me talking on here, because I start, speaking about stuff that folks tell me they have some skin in the game. Yeah, and it open your eyes. A lot of folks don't know how many of these organizations that these politicians push are false. They're all a front to funnel money. And I want folks to understand that. A lot of the crime, they can stop it. But hell, why stop the crime when you can campaign on it and make money? Yeah. Why do that, ladies and gentlemen? Come on. Right? And then you can say, yeah, we're going to hold Put the Guns Down Summit. Yeah, we got an organization called Put the Gun Down Summit. Okay, we're going to need some donations in. Yeah, everybody can pitch in, $10, $20, $100, right? And then you have a cheap ice cream social at some park, right? You don't rake in about 10, 15 grand, right? You're having an ice cream social. You probably only spent over $100 on some ice cream. You sit there, you make a little dumb speech, right? You collect the money and you don't do nothing. That's the way they run it. Real Luciferian-like. They don't care about nothing. They just want the bread. And that's what these politicians doing. Mainly. The Democrats. Mainly the Democrats. You don't see too many Republicans, running some sort of social program where they're trying to get money from it. You don't really see that. In the national, you see a lot more, and it deals with, let's send money to this country to help out the troops and stuff. Oops, let me keep my mouth shut about stuff like that. But that's what it happens. So we have to start recognizing the game and the funk. Crime can be stopped. Crime can be stopped, ladies and gentlemen. And just like J.D. Vance said, there has to be a political will. Brother, that is our show for tonight. I want to thank you so much for coming on in.
Thank you for having me.
Hanging out with your boy. Absolutely. I want to thank everybody and their mamas for coming out and hanging out with us as usual. Brother, any last words for our beautiful crowd?
You know what? Just want to say this. It was an awesome week for Republicans. Just real quick, because we didn't hit these things. President Trump won in New York today. They threw out that big $500 million things Letitia James did and smacked that judge back because they was like, what are you talking about? What you get this price numbers from? So that's a good thing. That's a great thing that happened. Also, Republicans won in the state of Texas. Jasmine Crockett is going to have to, they keep saying that Jasmine Crockett, they got her out. No, they didn't. She just have to run in the district that she's in. And it's more competitive because there are Latinos, and Latinos don't want no ignorant black woman. Loud, big lashes and stuff. So we had a couple wins today, and that's good. Crime is down in D.C. That white Donald Trump is trying to save people. But thank everybody for coming out tonight. If you are watching us and saying we did good and you didn't hit that like button, you treated us like a red-headed stepchild.
Shame
on you. If you said we was doing good and you said you liked the show, you liked the content, you bringing the truth, and you didn't donate at least 5 or 3, then you treated us like a cheap hooker that you knew in high school, and you just wanted to give us a few drinks and throw us out the car. You didn't even bring us back home. You dropped us off at the bus stop.
Absolutely.
Don't treat us like that. Don't drop us off at the bus stop. At least take us to the front door and kiss us.
Yeah, or buy us a Uber. I know some of you guys out there. You go to the club, you see that big booty chick out there. Yeah, I know some of you guys out there. You go see Miss Big Booty. You know, you're having a few drinks with her, right? You go back, you're having a nice exercise session. And after that exercise session, you don't buy the Uber. You're going to have to buy that Uber. Yeah, you're going to buy us an Uber. You better stop it. We trying to get home too. Yeah. So don't treat us like, the way that you be doing the, the other little, yeah. Don't treat us like that. You go ahead and you buy us that Uber. You treat us like you want to see us next time. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, you don't buy an Uber for the one you don't want to see next time, but you buy the Uber for the one you want to see next time. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, we get that nice little Uber pack. We go back to home. You know what I'm saying? We take that good long shower. And we see you the next day. Absolutely. So I want to thank all you guys. Thank you for coming out, hanging out with us. And until next time, you guys take care. Have a beautiful, beautiful night. And we'll catch you guys here later for another edition of Conservative Nation. You guys take care. Goodbye.
King Medic, turn me up.